This video is going to be the weekly forecast for the week 14th of April to 18th of April. Starting off on the monthly time frame, we can see that the first 2 weeks of April we have traded higher and then displaced below these two lows right here, trading down into the last down close candle that formed the continuation higher, and it is also in discount relative from this swing low to this swing high. Similar for ES, this particular swing low into this swing high, and then for Dow Jones, this swing low to swing high. Why am I incurring this low? Because this is the second low after the origin low. Similar for ES, this swing low right here is the origin, this is the second swing low. Over here as well, origin, second swing low. Therefore right here you can see that prices have respected the OTE and right now is trading higher. Order flow is still bullish, and I don't think that we are just going to crash the markets in a straight line. Therefore, I am looking for upside targets next week onwards. On the weekly time frame, we can see that we have formed a fair value gap for ES and for Dow Jones. However, for Nasdaq, there is no fair value gap. We traded all the way into this new week opening gap, which is also the weekly volume imbalance. We have closed the week green and we have closed near the high. When we open up next week, the draw on liquidity is going to be the previous week's high, with the exception of black swan events whereby we open and gap lower a few hundred points. That would be an entirely different scenario altogether. This particular week's low was formed in this inversion fair value gap right here for ES, which I have called this level previous weekly forecast, and then this level for Nasdaq, and this level here for Dow Jones. These inversion fair value gaps I have specifically called it last week, so if you're interested, you can take a look at last week's weekly forecast video. Because we have formed the low in support, I am assuming that right now we have formed a significant low. If in an event we are to take out this low right here, it's either going to form SMT on the lows or it's going to run down into this low right here. I personally do not think that next week is going to take out this particular low. Instead, we should be gravitating higher to take out this swing high right now. Keep in mind, we have April's opening price above the current closing price of the week. these are all levels for their respective April's open. And over here you can clearly see that we have just missed the April's opening price last week for Nasdaq. Therefore, just like how we have new week opening gaps, volume imbalances, inefficiencies, opening prices tends to act as a magnet. So, short term, first half of the week, I would be bullish. We have economic news drivers on Wednesday and Thursday. Right now, I can see that they have scheduled Jerome Powell speaking on Wednesday. Therefore, Wednesday would probably be a low probability day. And then Thursday would form the high and low, not end, but high or low of the week. This up close candle is of no significance to me. I do not see this as a bearish order block because this up close candle was not utilized to do anything. Therefore, I do not see price stopping right here. Instead, I'm looking for price to attack the swing high on the weekly time frame, and we are possibly going to attack the all-time highs once we take out this swing high right here, with the exception that one of them form SMT on highs. Then that could be a possibility that we are in the process of forming the top of Q2. But in my opinion, that is very unlikely, because if we are going to trade up into this high by the end of this month, this fair value gap here would be very small and might not even exist for NQ. Therefore, since we don't have displacement and this right here looks more like a turtle soup stop hunt, I would assume that we are going to resume bullish order flow towards the upside. That's it for this week's weekly forecast. TLDR, I am bullish. I'll talk to you again next week. Good luck trading, and that's it.